Is we rolling? Is we rolling? Is we rolling? I missed y'all. What's happening? What's happening? We are back. We are back. Okay, Real Housewives of Beverly fucking Hills season. I don't know. Episode 1. I am so excited, y'all, to be back here with y'all. I'm so excited that my show was back. I literally got dressed up for the premiere. Look at the ensemble. Look at the ensemble. Look at it. Look, I got my little hat. I got my hat, y'all. Okay, ladies, now let's get into formation. Yes, ma'am. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I was so fucking excited. I felt like, let me come on here. Let me give y'all a little shout out. You feel me? You feel me? All right, let's get motherfucker to it. All right. So, alrighty. I miss y'all. I missed y'all. I'm so excited to be back. Okay. Make sure my shit's right. You feel me? Make sure I don't look too crazy. Okay. Anyway, so let's get to it. Episode 1. Alrighty. So the episode starts off. We see like security footage, and we see people like pretty much like 2 men coming through a yard, and then they break like this glass door or whatever. And then you just hear like in the background like Dorit, I guess like I was I don't know, overload Phil, whatever, like it's talking pretty much like I was just so scared, and you hear her crying. So I'm like, is this how we starting this? So it says 3 days earlier. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I honestly forgot that this happened. I do remember hearing about it briefly, but I don't remember like really looking into it. The last thing I remember about anybody's house being broken into was Teddy's house was the house that Pop Smoke got killed at. That's the last thing I remember about anything with like Beverly Hills wife, but I do partially remember that. So anyway, 3 days earlier. So I'm like, oh, okay, y'all had this immediately, I guess, when it happened. So we see everybody. You see Erica and Lisa. I rolled my damn eyes when I motherfucking seen them. We see Crystal. She's doing her thing with her kids. Cal, I think, had got like an invitation to Paris' wedding. Paris' wedding was beautiful. I watched her show on Peacock. I stand Paris Hilton. Absolutely. Not Kathy Hilton, but Paris Hilton, I stand. So did that, and then they was doing like karate, not karate, but boxing. And then what else we had? And then Garcelle and Sutton were in Miami. So we go to Erica and Lisa first. Okay. Rinna is talking about Rinna Beauty. Now I'm gonna be honest. I was looking at Rinna's confessional, and I was trying to figure out what my problem was. I think that's probably the best. Even with the complaint I'm gonna have, I really feel like that confessional look that Rinna has is literally the best that she has ever looked, makeup wise, hair wise. The only thing about the hair that was bothering me a little bit is like, is it a wig? Because I'm pretty sure it is a wig because her real hair is short. But like, there's like this line, and granted, I don't have any room to talk about anybody's hair, but like this been in for like a month and some change. I'm getting this shit out next week. But point of the matter is like, her wig is like, okay, so it's like flowy and body and stuff. So I like that part, but it feels to me like I can see a really thick black line like right here, and it looks like I can see like there's a black line here, and then like the hair kind of starts from this point. I don't know, but she did look good. I'm nitpicky like that. But anyway, so they talk about that, and she also talks about how her daughter has moved. I'm gonna tell y'all why that's important in a minute, right? So she talks about how her daughter had moved out and she's moving to New York, blah 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 blah. Erica talks about how she's pretty much been fucking, which I wonder, bruh, that first time that Erica got dick, like after her not being with Tom anymore, like what was that experience like? Like that's the conversation that I want to have with Erica, to be quite honest. So Erica's fucking. So then Lisa says that there is an issue. So apparently Sutton went on Watch What Happens Live. And during Watch What Happens Live, Sutton said that she had invited like Harry, is that his name? Yeah, Harry Hamlin and Lisa went to a Elton John charity, but they went as her plus two. And she never got thanked for that. So from Lisa's side, she's like, I don't even understand why she would say that and da da da. And Erica, being smart like the rest of us, said exactly what Garcelle said because, Sutton and Garcelle are in Miami because Garcelle has like this charity thing going on, and she invited Sutton to come with her. So I'm sorry, this is two dual conversations going on at the same time, just separate places. So Garcelle pretty much says to Sutton, like, I understand why you did it because you were trying to prove the point. Like, you was pretty much trying to have my back. And then they show a flashback of when Lisa pretty much was sitting with Garcelle and said, oh, well, you never thanked me and Harry for the, I don't know, spaghetti or for what we did for you. And like Sutton's point was kind of like Erica ended up saying to Lisa. Her point was that, number one, I'm loyal to my friend. Number two, I have her back. And number three, it's pretty much like hypocritical. Like if you're going to, and no, I think Sutton said, if you're going to do something, you do it. You don't do it for somebody to just constantly say thank you. And Garcelle did say thank you. You just was nitpicking. And especially with that situation, she was absolutely nitpicking. So now Lisa is going to pretty much make a storyline to me. It seems like, at least for the first half of this damn show, of this season, I guess that's going to be her storyline. And the reason why I said her daughter leaving is important is because, and I put this on Twitter, Lisa Rinna for the last 2 to 3 years has used her daughters as a storyline. So when she came in and started off by saying, my daughters are moving, that to me was an indicator right there. She's about to pull some bullshit and get mad about nothing because you no longer have your daughters to cling on to for a storyline. You actually got to be in the fold. So you're going to take the smallest thing and make it a bigger deal. I see your play, Rinna. I've been here before. This is my third time reviewing this damn show, okay? Season, okay? I know, I see you, girl. So, what else happened? So yeah, so Sutton and Garcelle, they're in Miami. They talking. They both single as hell. That's just that. So then Sutton goes over to Crystal's house. And that whole scene was pretty much just saying that Crystal and Sutton pretty much like over the summertime had sat down and hashed out, their differences, and then they really like baseball, so they're cool as hell. And let me tell you something. I want to say this, Crystal, baby girl. I know this is only your second season. You gotta kind of catch yourself is what I'm saying. And the reason I'm saying that is because when Sutton sat down there, she was like, did you hear, that I kind of like, kind of might have said something I shouldn't have said. And you could tell that Crystal didn't know what to say. And I feel like it was because, should I say, I don't know because like you want this to be a storyline, or should I say, I have heard it because I really did hear it. So she was like, I didn't. She's like, I heard. No, I didn't really hear. No, what are you talking about? Like, and then she was like, what I said on Watch What Happens. She was like, okay, I heard. You got to clean that up, Crystal. Clean that up. But anyway, that was that. So then Erica and Garcelle went to go work out with each other, and like it shows a flashback really fast of when Garcelle and Sutton was in Miami, and Garcelle was pretty much telling Sutton, oh, like, I'm gonna go hang out with her. Like, this is the only thing, like, so far, the only thing I don't like, which we'll get into how I feel about this whole thing, but the only thing I didn't really like about that scene is like it felt as if Sutton was upset that Garcelle was gonna go hang out with her, and I didn't like how Garcelle pretty much tried to downplay it and be like, oh, well, I'm just working out with her, that's it, I'm just working out with her. And it's like, why can't you? Like, if you don't have a problem with Erica, right, if you just have a problem with maybe how she treated your friend, then that's that. But I don't know, I was getting the energy, and Sutton to me was putting it off like, I don't even know why you would hang out with her. I don't even understand. Because that's exactly what she said. I don't even understand why you would hang out with her. Like, we're all grown-ass women. Just because you have a problem with Erica, that does not mean that I necessarily have to have a problem with her. Now, I can have an issue with maybe the way that she handled you, but why? I feel like Sutton is pretty much trying to make Garcelle, and not just Garcelle, but everybody pick a side. Because we'll get to what happened with her and Kyle later. But Garcelle was like, don't worry, I'm going to tell her pretty much that she shouldn't have did that. And I love Garcelle down, but I don't want her to do this the rest of the season. Like, it's one thing to have your friends back, and I feel like she has had Sutton's back throughout the whole, like, last season for the most part, especially during the reunion. But I don't think this is something that Garcelle should continue to like harp on. So when they were like exercising, once they were done, they sit down and Garcelle is like, so are you gonna apologize to Sutton? Like first, I appreciate how direct she is, but she's like, so are you gonna apologize to her? And Erica was like, for what? And I just started laughing, and she was like, because you said that you were that you was gonna come for her, and she was like, well, I mean, I said that, but like, and then Garcelle was like, she was like really, really freaked out. And then they do like a flashback to the reunion when Sutton said that she had hired security. I'm sorry. But I was Erica during that reunion and during that part. Girl, you are so over fucking dramatic. When I say you better watch your back, that doesn't mean that I'm about to come and run up behind you and stab you in your back or something like that. Like, that's, I think, what Erica means when she talks about like Sutton coming from such a small, it seems like she comes from a real like southern country, very like small minded type of way because of shit like that. Like, girl, that girl wasn't going to do nothing to you, and you really wasted money getting security. What was Erica really going to do to you? And the fact that you felt so threatened, that's a fucking shame. And Garcelle should honestly know better. You should have turned to your friend and been like, all right, bitch, like, Erica ain't going to do shit to you. Like, I don't even understand why she fed so much into that whole, oh, she was going to do something to you. She wasn't going to do anything. That wasn't going to happen. And so Erica pretty much was like, well, the way I look at it is like, I'm not going to apologize for pretty much like, I feel like I was being backed into a corner, and I'm not going to apologize pretty much for like how I reacted to pretty much a whole bunch of people coming at me. And the only thing I will say that I respect about that is that at least I appreciate people who stand 10 toes down on what the fuck they did. No, that's what happened. No, I'm not apologizing. And I really appreciate that, because I would have I prefer people to just stand in their shit than to lie about, oh, me feeling bad. Because if you don't, then you don't. That's how the fuck you felt. So, then like really fast, they kind of, I don't really know how her and Garcelle got on that topic of like Tom or something like that. But in the confessional, Erica is like, yeah, you know, like, because, oh no, she said to Garcelle, I don't even like the fact that she said all of that because all of that has been proven to not be true. So then we go to the confessional and the producer's like, so you said all of this is proven to not be true. Like, is there proof of this? And she was like, of course there's proof. Of course there's proof. And she was like, well, is it proof that's like, you know, to the public? Like, can we see it? She was like, tell Bravo to go do their due diligence and go pick up the stuff that my lawyer said and pick up this and pick up that. I'm not going to sit here and keep going back and forth about this. And then what else did she say? She was like, Garcelle pretty much just in her confession was like, I just think that, I think what Garcelle was trying to say is that, like, because like the press and the initial hype around the case and around her has like kind of died down a little bit, that maybe Erica is feeling like, okay, I might actually like be okay. But she's like, I think you jump into the gun a little bit too fast. Girl, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care. It was fun while it lasted. And I'm not even trying to be like insensitive, but like, I really don't care. Let the courts play out how it's gonna play out. It is what it is. I stand by what I said last season. Do I believe, and this is for people, if people have never watched this is your first time watching me, I do not believe that Erica knew in whole hard facts and in her mind and knew anything about Tom taking money from these victims and giving it to her. I do not believe that she initially knew that when all of that was going on. I do not believe that, because I don't believe that Tom ever let Erica even look anything into his business. Even if she asked, he probably told her to go about her damn day. And I highly doubt she even wanted to really look into it, because she's getting money consistently. What I do believe is that Erica found out that Tom was doing this and seen all of those lawsuits coming in, and then made the decision, I'm not about to be tied to your bullshit. That's what I believe. But I do not believe, I believe Tom was doing that shit, but do I believe that Erica had any hand in that, in the specific movement of taking money that's held for victims and just shelling it out to herself? I do not. And everybody else can believe what they want to. But the only thing I believe is that she found out about it and then decided to get a divorce, which is what she's lying about to me. She's lying about that part. Oh, I just was tired of him. No, you found out all of them lawsuits was coming and you decided to get your shit and leave, which is smart, especially if you had nothing to do with it. Where we at on time? Okay. So yeah, so that's how I feel about that. So, okay, I want to say this, and I'm going to be as nice as possible as I can with Bravo, because I know this is only the first episode, but I want to say this. I think that you guys are extremely, two ways to go about this. Number one, I feel like Bravo, you guys are extremely, 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 extremely disgusting for the way that y'all handled this entire situation. This shit is not fucking funny. It's not a joke. It's not for fodder. I understand that this is reality TV, but the way that y'all handled this entire situation with Dorit, the way that y'all portrayed it is completely fucked up. First of all, I mean, I put laughing emojis in my tweet when I said this, but it's really not funny. Y'all literally cut, I'm getting mad because y'all really cut that footage a certain way. When it starts off, I want y'all to go back and watch. When it starts off, like when we finally get to Dorit, right? The first thing that they show the outside of her house. Then they go specifically in her closet. They show her bags and they show her jewelry. All they show is her closet. They don't show anything else, mostly for the most part, other than her closet. After they're done showing her closet, they then go to her backyard where her kids are practicing karate and stuff. And you hear the little boy saying throughout the karate thing, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take the bad guys and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna take the bad guys and I'm gonna do that. I literally tweeted, Bravo, y'all are fucked. Y'all, I said they're shady, but that's really completely fucked up for y'all to set it up that way. We didn't need all of that other stuff edited the way that it was for y'all to, because all it was trying to set the stage for what happened. And I think that's completely insensitive and I think it's fucked up, to be quite honest. So, and you see Dorit sitting there looking at her kids like super lovingly and all of this other stuff. And so then she gets a call from Garcelle, you know, because she knew that Garcelle was in Miami. They talk for a quick second. You know, she talks about how they was able to kind of like fix their relationship. And, you know, she just kind of knows how far to go with Garcelle, which I'm glad you know, bitch. And how far not to go. Garcelle literally says hi to her daughter. Okay, right? Boom. So then it says later that night, because that scene was in the morning time, and then it says later that night. And later that night, they showed the same footage that they showed from the beginning, which is the people breaking in. Now, Dorit says what happened, which she started to tell part of the story at that time, but she ended up telling the whole thing later, which we'll get to in a second. But pretty much she said that they broke in and they pretty much put a gun to her head and like that, then they pretty much robbed them, right? So before we get to what she said, the whole story, I have a few questions here. Number one, how the fuck was they able to just walk into that, not into her house, but like on the grounds? Because it looked like, I can't tell if like a gate was open. I don't understand how they was just able to walk on them damn grounds. That's number one. Number two, she ended up saying later that she felt comfortable coming to Kyle's house because she left the kids with security and his assistant, PK's assistant. So my thing is, did you just hire that security today because you extra worried? Because my thing is, where the fuck was the security, period? Where was the security? Did any alarms go off? Like, I need to understand, where was the safety net for her and her children first? That's just what I would like to know. But I don't know, maybe those have been answered already. So pretty much once that happened and it's all over the news, you see like, I don't say everybody rush over there, but you see pictures of Kyle outside trying to get in. You see pictures of Lisa, Erica, all of the girls pretty much tried to pull up and tried to, like, you know, see her, but, you know, they couldn't. So we see Crystal and Lisa in the car talking. Now, I feel like that conversation that they had and the emotion that they had was genuine during that moment. You know, they were just talking about, you know, how I think Lisa had briefly talked to Dorit and how she was just like in a lot of shock and how she was scared that they was going to kill her and kill her kids and stuff. So they were talking about that. Let's get over to Dramad Mad Kyle. You know, like I tweeted, it literally is amazing to me how Kyle can be so over dramatic about shit that has absolutely nothing to do with her. Like, I get that that's her friend, but Kyle is so over dramatic about every freaking thing. It just makes it hard to like, it makes it hard, bitch. It makes it hard. So you got Sutton coming over to Kyle's house, and Kyle is like crying, and you could tell she's been crying, and she's like, I just don't know, like, and that's my friend, and like, I just feel so bad for her. And then Sutton was like, yeah, bitch, like, this is a terrible day. You want to know what also happened, girl? I was putting up flyers. Because now, when Sutton said she was putting up flyers, I thought she was saying, like, I was putting up flyers, because I don't think they even found the people who did it, like, to put up flyers of who the people were. She said it was for like, I don't even remember, but it was something else, something to do with her business. And Kyle was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, like it's just been a weird day because this didn't happen with my business and this went wrong and that went wrong. And she was just like, so Kyle in her confession was like, I don't understand, like, how is it that our friend just got robbed and a gun was put to her head, but you're sitting up here and you're worried about your business? It really gave me Paid in Full vibes when he was like, niggas get shot every day, beef. That was the vibe Sutton was coming with, and I'm sorry, but it was funny as hell. It was funny to me. So then Kyle talks about how, you know, she doesn't have the best relationship with Erica because Erica's still mad about her. And, you know, just talking about Erica pretty much in general because all of y'all motherfucking did that. And so she was like, yeah, but, you know, we do text a little bit. And, you know, she told me that she's looking for a man. And this is when Sutton really took the time to, like, unload. She was like, well, what? Because I think Sutton was like, oh, I'm looking for somebody too. And then that's when she brought up Erica. And she was like, well, I'm not looking for a man with money, which I think that's bullshit. I call bullshit. I see the shade. Okay, let me finish the shade. The shade was, I'm not looking for a man with money. I have my own money. I have my own character. I don't need to have a man that has all of this. I can take care of myself. Unlike Erica, I mean, I'm pretty sure she misses her big house and all her jewelry and stuff. So she has to find somebody that can provide that for her. The shade was real and funny and true at the same time. However, for you, Sutton, you're full of shit if you say that you don't care that you don't care if the man that you deals with has money or not. You are full of shit, and I don't believe you. If Kyle was to bring you somebody that worked at Chick-fil-A, you would not be like, oh yeah, he's a great guy. If she brought you somebody, let's just say she even brought you somebody that just works a regular 9-to-5 in corporate America, you would not be like, oh yeah, sure. You would look at them and be like, this is what we doing. So let's stop. Now the reasons may be different about why y'all are looking for men with money, but you are gonna look for a man with money. That y'all will have in common, and that's just a fact of the fact, period. But the shade was real and the shade was funny, and I died. So then when they're in the kitchen, where am I on time, sorry? So when they're in the kitchen, Kyle pretty much says to Sutton, like, well, you know, like now she pretty much feels bad because she said she didn't stick up for Sutton at the table when Erica was going off on her and stuff like that. But then she also said, like, but I also, like, I didn't do it because I just felt bad for her. Like, she probably left that and went home and just straight cried. And she's like, so like, you want me to feel bad for her? I don't care about that. You need to feel bad for the victims. That's who needs to be crying. That's who needs, and it's like, okay, yeah, but again, I stand by the fact that I don't believe that she knew that he was stealing from victims. So to me, that shade doesn't hit the same way that it does for everybody else. But I got what both of them was saying. I got where Sutton was coming from, pretty much saying like, man, at the end of the day, like, that woman came from me, and so I don't really have any empathy for her at all. I just asked her a few questions and she came from my neck. But I understand Kyle pretty much being like, I get that, but like, everybody was coming for her. Now, everybody wasn't coming for her the way that Sutton was, but she was pretty much being like interrogated kind of, and that was the second dinner I think that happened. I'm not sure if that was the first one or the second one. It wasn't the first time, pretty much. So she pretty much, I think, was saying, like, I was just trying to be empathetic to the fact that you already have people around you questioning you. Now you come to this table and everybody's questioning you. So I get both sides of it. So then Sutton is like, well, I just think it's funny because she's not mad at the rest of y'all. Now, I will say with Sutton, I do agree with that. It does feel, or not feel, for Kyle and Dorit. Cal and Dorit both talked a lot of shit, especially by themselves. And Dorit in particular talked a lot of shit on Erica. Now, I know Erica maybe didn't just jump in on her because of the whole situation that happened, but it does seem like she kind of forgave them pretty fast compared to Sutton. But what I will say is the biggest difference is that Sutton was the one driving the train. Now, yes, everybody else might have jumped on board, and that's valid for her to still be mad at them. But Sutton was the one that was driving the train. Like, she was the one that was really pushing, like, you're lying, you don't know what you're talking about. And then when she would get in front of Erica, it's like she would kind of pull back. And that was my problem with Sutton last year. Not that she was questioning Erica. It's just that the same type of, like, that's the, okay, even Crystal said this about, like, Sutton, that she has, sorry, not Crystal. Erica said, Sutton talks a lot of shit. And then she turns around and gets mad, like, so she can't get mad when somebody swings back at her. I will agree. Sutton does talk a lot of shit, and she doesn't keep the same energy. That was my problem with her last season. She has so much oomph in her confessionals and when she's talking to the other girls, but when she actually gets in front of whoever that person is, maybe Crystal, maybe Erica, she doesn't have that same type of fervor. It's very like, well, no, I was saying it's not all of that, that you be giving in the confessional. So I would have to agree with that. So I got a couple more minutes, not that much longer. So then we go over to Kyle's house, and then Erica comes over, Lisa comes over. Eventually Garcelle comes over too. But they're waiting for Dorit. Dorit ends up coming in, and she looked like shit. No makeup, no nothing, just some gray sweatpants on now, a gray sweatsuit. Now, what she says pretty much happened is that she literally, thank God, she normally has the kids sleep for her, but she was really, really tired because they had just came back from, I forgot wherever the hell they was at. And so she was like, all right, like, I think one of her kids fell asleep. So she just picked them up and put them in their bed. So then she went back to her bed, laid down. Then she just hears like the door open, and she heard somebody come in. So she get up thinking that it's her kids. Find out it ain't her damn kids. It's some grown ass man. The man got startled, threw her on the floor, put the gun to her head, pretty much was like, shut the fuck up. They were saying that they was going to kill her. Then eventually pretty much like picked her up and like was like, show us where everything is. They went and they took her jewelry and her handbags, which is why I said I think it's fucked up that they specifically showed that in the beginning. And then pretty much, I forgot like how she said, but like something about like them leaving her phone at the entrance. But she was just really going through it. And I felt bad for her. PK ended up coming at the very end, and, you know, because he wasn't there the whole time. The kids didn't even know anything happened. That's the good thing about having a big ass house. Your kids don't have to know certain shit. But what really I want to say before I go is that I am completely... How much time I got them to drag them? I'm completely disgusted with Bravo. I'm so sorry, y'all. I feel like the way y'all handled this was completely fucked up. I didn't even realize it until she said it again. But the day that they're filming Dorit, that robbery literally happened the night before. So pretty much 24 hours, or less than 24 hours ago, that happened to her. And y'all want to be in her face with cameras. Y'all probably called her and was like, oh, come over to Kyle's house so we can sit here and talk about it. I think that's extremely fucked up. And then she heard like Kyle's like dogs barking and just started freaking out. And throughout the whole night, she was just freaking out about like really little stuff, because it was just... that just happened. Like, that bothers me. And then it really bothered me at the end to really see her like really, you could tell, especially once PK came, that she just kind of felt like it's just like kind of like a release a little bit. And so she's just sitting on the bench crying. And I think it's extremely fucked up the way that Bravo handled the situation. I don't feel like they used any truth, anything. That girl needed to be in front of a fucking therapist, not in front of a Bravo camera. She needed to be in front of a therapist. I think it's fucked up that somebody would go through something traumatic like that, and the first thing y'all would think is to shove a fucking camera in their face. Y'all didn't even give the girl 24 full hours to even recover. Y'all didn't even give her the damn decency to let her husband come home and let her decompress with him, because y'all want to fucking show so badly. This is why I don't like Andy sometimes. But other than that, the premiere was cute. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Come on, bye.